Mouthy Broads. Our guest this evening is Nicholas St. John, and Nicholas is the author of, and I went blank, Human Viral Infections and 9 Things You Can Do to Smack Them Down. So tell me, Nicholas, what's your background?
Well, I've done research. I'm an expert in efficiencies, and so I've consulted the Kennedy Space Center, also out of JPL for NASA, Gillette, Mattel, and Disney. So I've had a pretty good background, but I found ways to make things more efficient, and found that when the H1N1 came out, the swine flu, I started doing research and found out there was a bunch of stuff that we could do to really protect ourselves that really weren't out in the mainstream anywhere. And so that's led me to about 250 hours of research gone into this book.
So the main premise of this is to build your immune system.
Right. If we've all heard about Ebola, right? I mean, anybody been afraid of the Ebola? What happens if it gets here, right? And so I started doing research on it and found that it's a very nasty little virus. And the problem is that to be protected from it, the guys that have survived have had strong immune systems. Now the problem is that if we were going to test all of you guys and the audience, it would be hard to tell how strong, on a 1 to 10, how strong is your immune system, right? Yeah. Most people don't know. And so there's a few things that I write about in here of how to get it stronger. And on the CDC website, their statement is, in order to survive a viral infection, it's if you have a strong immune system. And then the problem is, underneath that, there's no way to tell you how to strengthen it. And so that's what this book does. It gives you 9 things you can do to make yourself bulletproof, really, against viruses and pathogens, germs, and bacteria.
But there are certain things that we need to avoid too, right? I mean, I know that stress also tears down your immune system.
It does, and interestingly enough, so does exercise.
Yes, I read that too.
All right, we all think
well, there's my out.
The reason not to exercise is I'm going to lower my immune system. I can't do that. Yes, but in the book we talked about sodium ascorbate, which we have here, and we talked about at lunch. This is what's called vitamin C. We all know that as vitamin C. Unfortunately, none of us take enough of it to keep our immune system at the peak potential. And so stress, you're right, lowers it. What happens is the oxidative agents that are in our body get expended. Vitamin C builds that back up. And so typically the formula is that if you take your body weight, multiply it by 30, and that's how many milligrams you should be taking a day. Now the RDA,
there isn't that much in this bottle.
They that 90-day supply.
Well, it's amazing how long this lasts. It's a powder and it's very pure, but it gives you, like I take about 8,000 or 9,000 milligrams. Now the recommended daily allowance for me is 90. So I'm taking about 100 times what. I mean, you can't OD on this stuff.
It's water soluble.
It's water soluble. And what your body doesn't use, just gets rid of. Okay, but in order to have an immune system that's really, we talk about it being like an army. Your immune system, like the army, the white blood cells and all that stuff that's in there. Without getting technical, is if you're going into war, would you like to have every soldier with 5 bullets or 5,000 bullets?
Yeah.
I want to win the war, right? Yeah. 5,000 bullets.
I want to survive the war.
Right. I want to win the war. Yeah. And so that's what vitamin C does. It strengthens your white blood cells and gets them up as strong as they possibly can be to fight off viral infections and all kinds of things. Snake bites, it's been proven to get rid of the toxins from snake bites and all kinds of things. So it's very...
Is it true that zinc boosts vitamin C?
What happens is vitamin C is a what's called a repairing agent and a reduction agent. Zinc, working with this, repairs the cells. And so that's really what it does in the body. So yes, it works very, very, very well. Again, the RDA recommendations are almost enough to survive on, not to really be at maximum. If you're going to be at maximum potential, you really need about 40 to 70 milligrams of zinc a day. And most people are way into that. I just did a test where you put they put it in your mouth, and if it's bitter, you've got high enough levels of zinc Mine unfortunately wasn't. So I'm on a zinc supplement now.
Put what in your mouth?
There's this fluid. There's a fluid that they mix up, and if it reacts with the zinc, it gives you a bitter taste. So it tells you what their levels are.
Well, I know that they use, like the center, they use a lot of high doses of C to combat cancer.
That's right.
Also, it helps, high doses of C also help to cut down on some of the side effects for with chemotherapy.
That's exactly right. Yeah, because what it does, it strengthens the cells, and then when you get chemotherapy and radiation, what happens is all the healthy cells, it has a tendency to go into that too, and this strengthens it so you have not nearly the effects of the side effects.
Well, we're talking with Nicholas St. John about different ways to build your immune system. We talked about vitamin C at length, but we got lots more stuff to cover. Tell us about the coconut oil.
Okay, this is becoming very, very popular. Are you guys all using coconut oil somewhere or not?
I put it on my skin and my hair.
Okay, and it's great for that.
Every day.
It's also great for cooking.
Yeah.
And it you know, if you use butter and you want to get away from that, you can use this on toast and anything you like that. You can also I put a tablespoon in my coffee in the morning, and so I get a couple tablespoons a day as well. And it's become so popular. Well, in coconut oil is an acid called lauric acid. Now, it's interesting how vital this is, because what happens is the shell that most viruses are encapsulated in, it dissolves them. So they just basically crumble. And so there's actually studies by universities proving how effective this is against viral infection.
Yeah.
And if you want to cook with it, Pam has now come out with their version of 100% coconut oil.
Wow, I didn't know
And so
that.
it's really
You're
great.
welcome.
Not that, Pam.
Also, another way to strengthen your system is using Sambucol. This is a really great find. Now, this thing was actually developed by a virologist from Israel, and she was commissioned by the U.S. government to find a way to combat bird flu if it ever became a pandemic. What she found was in black elderberries, there's an enzyme called Sambucol nigra.
Yeah.
And that enzyme actually inhibits the little pointy spikes on viruses from attaching to cells.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, I've given this to friends and neighbors, and they've come back and said, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Instead of getting sicker, I was well in 24 hours.
Wow.
Because our body, when we have colds and that type thing, our body's trying to cleanse. It's trying to spew stuff
That's
out
right.
in any orifice. and so when I find when I take that Sambucol, we have a couple of mixtures with echinacea. That's what we didn't like. My husband and I used Sambucol, kept us healthy. Then they changed the formula some kind of way and started putting echinacea with it and all kinds of stuff. My point is, when I take it now, whatever's trying to happen goes ahead and happens. I get runny and I blow my nose and I cough and then it's over.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, these are the tablets. You can also get it in like a syrup mix and things like that, especially for kids.
Are there side effects to any of these things?
None of them. That's what's beautiful about this stuff.
So whether you're diabetic or you have heart problems or anything,
Right. It doesn't have any effect. As a matter of fact, in
Or with
diabetics, they're starting to take higher doses of vitamin C and finding that it's helping not react to a lot of the foods that cause insulin spikes.
That's wonderful.
So
They even
tell us
have
about the silver.
Okay, colloidal silver. Now this is,
Silver.
like I said, it's the magic elixir. The interesting thing is colloidal silver. A lot of people don't know, but silver's been around a long time. In the old days, when royalty used silver plates and silver utensils, they actually were getting silver into their system, and they actually, because their fingernails turned blue and their patches on their elbows, they were called the blue bloods, and that was what they were royalty. Okay.
Okay.
But the peasants used clay, right? They didn't have this stuff built up into their system. Well, colloidal silver, when penicillin was invented and came onto the market, it became kind of the drug of choice. Of course, it's very profitable, so you can understand why. But this was really the turn of the century primary way, and it's still being used a lot. Here's where the confusion comes in. If you get burnt really bad and you get into a burn place, they'll put salve on you, right? That salve has a ton of silver in it because it's known to be anti-infectious. So it'll fight germs and bacteria.
Right.
So what we do is you can get one of these units, or you can, in the book, there's actually a place you can go to Radio Shack, and it tells you how to make your own for about $20, $25. So we'll put this in, create your own silver, about 25 cents a glass. Now, during the California flu back in 2005, I got it. Of course, everybody, if you knew of anybody who did, they almost caught themselves unconscious.
Yeah.
And I got it, came back, started doing 2 cups of this, 2 glasses a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night, about 50 parts per million. In 7 days, I was completely done. That's all I took for it, completely gone in 7 days. My roommate, who would not listen to me, was almost coughing himself unconscious for 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So at some point, I should do this. That's why I kept wondering. If you enjoy doing that, you might get it. That's what we like about America, right? If you want to be sick, you can. And if you know what, if you have information, right? Because information is power. You can take control of this. And really, over the last 4 or 5 years, it's probably saved me $500 to $1,000 in doctor visits and all of the, Tamiflu, right? It actually, the study shows 1 day of stopping the thing. I'm not sure how you know, because the side effects are the symptoms of the flu.
Really? Well, Nicholas, I really appreciate you being with us both times today. But give us the website real quick.
Okay, if you go to bit.ly, beat the flu, bit.ly /beat the flu.